Hello there guys, welcome to another Unreal Engine 4 video. This is going to be part 6 of the Perforce series. At the end of part 5, just this mic there, at the end of part 5 I asked a question about security, and I was lucky enough to have one of Perforce's employees contact me and provide me with documentation as to security. It's taken me most of the day, but I seem to have discovered or worked out a way to allow you guys to put some kind of security on this server. So if you remember in the past videos, we ended up with just a server that basically your only security was nobody guessing the URL. Well, today I'm going to help you get a password set up on that and get individual users their own password so that they can access the server. So what I've got here is this is my laptop, and this is what we're going to be using as the server. So where I left off last time, you had the server, you was able to connect to it from an external source. Two things you're going to need on the server side, you're going to need P4 admin. Now you can get this by simply heading on over to Perforce's download page. Let me bring that up for you. I'll show you which one you need. So Perforce downloads. So it's perforce.com/downloads/helix, and if you scroll on down, it's under the Helix client. If you just select your operating system and download that. And I've already got that downloaded, so head over to my downloads folder, and you'll be presented with a P4V install. Just going to fire that up. I've already got it installed, so mine's going to say modify. For you, you would just go on through the installation process as usual. You may already have this done if you follow the other tutorials, but anyway, if you've not got P4 admin, and another important thing we need here is the P4 command line, then you're going to need to download this again, hit modify, and make sure that you have the administration tool here included and installed, and along with the command line client. It won't let me hit next because I've already got them, but you can just finish up that install there. Okay, so once those preliminary things are done there, I'm going to finish that up. We're going to head on over to P4 admin. Wait for that to fire up. Now you may not have a connection here, so I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to go to connections, open connection. And we're going to set the server to 1.666. That's because it's running locally, so we just need the port. And I'm going to make a new user with the name of admin. Put my name in there. Put a password in. This will be changed later, so just put it to something like 123 now. It needs to be changed later, so make sure you just put it as 123 for now. And I'll put in an email address. Oh dear, okay. Yep, so I can go ahead and hit save there. And now I can log in, and P4 admin will now log me into its interface. Now, this window will pop up telling me that I will become the sole user with super user access. Now, you need to hit yes. Make sure that you hit yes on that. Now, if you head on over to users and groups over here, you'll see the admin user that we've just created has this little red outline here around the purple little icon dude. That means we're a super user. If you head over to permissions as well, you can see down here that the username admin also has super user privileges here. So we know that we've got super user privileges now. Right. Now, okay, we're going to open up P4V now. So we just wanted to check that worked in there in the P4 admin. So now we can come over to the P4 visual P4V or Perforce visual client, blah, whatever. Anyway, so the server we're going to be using is 1.666 again. The user is going to be the admin. You can find that under browse. We don't want to create a new user just yet, so you're going to leave that as admin. Remember that this is all happening on the server computer. So whichever computer you've got set up to be the server, this is happening. What we're doing now is happening on that computer. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to initiate a depot. So I'm going to go ahead and make myself a new, that shouldn't be there. That was from a previous tutorial and it's not there. Okay, anyway. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and select a new workspace. I'm just going to put this into my documents. I'm going to name it tutorial. There we go. You can tell that I've got this already set up. The workspace name, I'm going to name it admin workspace. Hit OK. And, oh, okay, it wants a new folder. So inside tutorial, I'm just going to delete this. Sorry about this. Tell you what, I'm going to delete the entire, I should be able to select that now. Whether that allows me to do it. Yep, okay, now, this is the add file wizard. We went over this before, this basically. So if you've got your project on the computer that's going to be the server, this is where you'll add your project to the depot. I just want to initiate a depot, so I'm just going to stick some files in there. I'm just going to stick my entire downloads folder in there, which was just those 2 Perforce downloads. I'm going to hit next, use a classic depot, hit next, start. Now basically this is just getting the server set up. Now I've already covered this in past tutorials, I know, but from the notes that I've got written down, this was the complete start to finish of ensuring security was on there. Okay, right, we've done that, so I can finish that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close out both of these and open up P4 admin again. Now, for some reason I had to close and open this on to get it to work last time, so I don't know whether it's just my computer or something, but just close P4 admin, reopen it. And now we're going to head on over here. You can see the security level here. So passwords not required at 0. Passwords required is 1. Strong passwords required is 2. And 3. Ticket-based authorization required. Now I have no idea how to set up ticket-based authorization, so we're just going to go ahead and use passwords. So we're going to come up here to administration, password security level, and we're going to select that as checkbox 1. Passwords required. Hit OK, and that will now change. You see the little red box is now highlighted number 1 with security level medium. Okay, now remember that we ensured that we had that am I recording this? Yep, it's recording. Okay. Remember that we had that made sure that we installed the Perforce command line. Well, now you're going to open up command prompt, and you're simply now going to type P4-U and then the username that we made. So we made it as admin, capital ADMIN. This will be different for you, so this is where you'll put in whatever username you put. If you put your name, you put your name here. If you put admin123, you put admin123 here. So it's P4 space -U space admin space login, right? And it's going to tell us to enter a password. So we put in 123. And it says user admin has now been logged in. Okay. Now we're going to type P4-U and then admin again. So we're selecting the user admin. And we're going to now type configure set. So configure space set space dm point user. So dm.user.noautocreate equals 2. So P4 space -U space admin, or your username, space configure space set space dm, that's Delta Mike, point user point no auto create equals 2. I'm going to go ahead and hit apply, and that says for any configuration variable auto create has been set to 2. Now what's that done? I'll show you what that's done when I move on over to the main computer, or what will be your client basically. But to quickly put it into words, it stops a client creating a user. You know, an admin has to come onto the server and add new users if they want to use it. You can't just create your own user for the server anymore. So this is part of our security. Okay, we can close command prompt now. That's all we need to do in there. Now let's go ahead and set up a user. So we're going to right click in here, make a new user, and this user is going to be called Joel's desktop. His password is going to be 123. Again, this gets changed in a moment, so just set it to something like that, 123. I'll put in his email, joelgeorge1995@hotmail.com, and my full name. Leave everything else as it is, just hit apply. And that's what we're going to use on the other computer. Now, this is where I don't know why this happened, but for some reason that password that I put in there, I couldn't leave it like that. You have to come in here and change it. So you right click on the user, change their password. Now instead of the 123, this is what their actual password will be. So for example, I'm going to put in a password that I actually use, and that will now be my password to log into this Perforce server, or rather that will be the password for the user Joel's desktop. Okay, and it will say password changed up here. You wanted to say that, so we set the 123 earlier. We now changed it to what it's actually going to be. I have no idea why it needed me to change it later on for it to pick up that I needed a password, but I mean, I don't know. I've been playing with this all day. Maybe there's a smoother way of doing this, but this is the way that I found that to get it to work. Okay, so we've entered the password for them. That's great. We can simply exit out of this. Now what I'm going to do is I'll pause the video here while I switch on over to the main computer, and then I'll pick it up from there, and I'll show you what the client would need to do on their side. Okay, so here we are on the client's computer. This is my desktop computer. Now what I'm going to do is, as a client, I should have P4V installed, or the Perforce Visual Client, so I'll fire that up here. And now I just need to look on my laptop for a second. On my laptop, what I'm doing is I'm just getting the IP address, the local IP address. So I'm simply going to command prompt and typing in ipconfig. Actually, do you know what? I know what this laptop says. Yeah, I know it. Okay, so basically I'm going to connect to the server now. Now, if you've been through my past tutorials and the server is set up to receive external connections, you'll put in that web address that you made. Because I'm doing this on a local network just to demonstrate, I'm simply going to put in my laptop's IPv4 address. Now, as for users, I'm going to hit browse. And instead of using admin now, I'm going to use Joel's desktop. Actually, before I do this, I need to demonstrate what we've actually done. So I'm going to move my notes over here. So before, if you remember that you could click new user, so on the client, this is on the client's computer now, I could hit new and I could put in some details. Oh, just make sure that those match. I could put in some details and I could hit save, and before it would let me make a user with my own details and log in from the client side. Now we've disabled that. That was what we did in the command prompt. User doesn't exist. We can't make a new user as a client. We have to use ones that are already there, ones that the super user has already put into the database of users. So we have to hit browse since we cannot hit new. Now from here, I could select either this. So I could say, ooh, I'm going to log into the admin account, but the problem is I'd need the password. So I'm going to try and log into my account here. So Joel's desktop, right? If I hit OK, hopefully, no, okay, right, I've shot myself in the foot here. It should have asked me for a password. Now I have a feeling that what happens is the registry, well, once you already enter a password, it saves it for you, right? So you don't need to keep entering it. So I have a feeling that it's picked up that username as before because it's the same username, and it's in it. I've used the same password. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to pop back on over to our laptop. Browse, and there's the new user there. And now it asks for the password. So yeah, it was simply just a case of I already had the password for Joel's desktop saved. Sorry, I should have planned that a bit better. I didn't realize that what it does is when you enter the correct password, I believe it stores it in the registry somewhere. Now I kind of use it's very bad of me, but I use the same password for everything. So because I'd already had a user called Joel's desktop with the same password, when I did it this time when I was recording, the same password in the registry stored over with that username, it says, okay, you already know the password for this, so you can log in. So that's my bad. But basically, I went through the exact same process, just that I didn't do anything different. When I was just typing on my laptop just then, I did it with the same way that I showed you how to set up the Joel's desktop one, except I just named it Sasud, and I just put in a different password there. So it's a different username with a different password. And as you can see now, the client requires that password. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the correct password. Actually, we'll put in a wrong password. And it says it's not valid, so it wants the correct one, okay? So we're going to go ahead and fire in the correct password. And it closes that down. I can drag this over from the other monitor here, and you can see now that I'm logged in from SASD. I can see the depot with the downloads folder, so I'm in now. I have access like a user should be able to. I can clone this, I can make this into my own workspace. And if I fire that up again, you'll see that if I'm using the same user, it will, or it should just straight away fire me up. So yeah, I'm sorry for the hiccup there. That was totally my bad. I just did not expect. I forgot that I should have really cleaned my registry from previous attempts in the day, and then come out and done another video. But yeah, my bad. So I had something stored there that shouldn't happen for you or your users. So yeah, that's how you're going to go ahead and add security to your Perforce server. Now I did this on a local network, but it should be noted that it's the exact same process for an external network. You know, it's just a case of if you're on an external network, demonstrate here, instead of this, I would put in you know, the web address that you set up from the external one. So that's how you're going to go ahead and get up security set up on your Perforce server. I'm sorry that this tutorial has been a bit slapdash, put together, a bit rushed. Basically the reason for that is it's taken me all day to get to this point. I'm pretty tired. It's just gone midnight, but I really wanted to get this out there, so I apologise if the quality of this one is not as it should have been. I'd like to quickly thank the the employee of Perforce. I hope he's not the owner and I'm calling him the employee. But yeah, I'd like to thank him for helping me get this set up. I'd like to thank Perforce for their amazing software, because this is absolutely fantastic. Once you've got this set up and integrated with Unreal Engine 4, you know, you're flying. Those projects are going to be flying out there. So yeah, I'll wrap this up before I mumble on anymore. If you've seen my other video on the fire propagation system, just know that that is coming along well, but it's a big system. Oops, sorry about that. Not the microphone there. It's a big system. It needs a lot of work. So before I can make a tutorial on it, I really need to get everything wrapped up. So please just be patient with me on that. So yeah, I'm not sure where to leave this. Please, guys, if you enjoyed this video, if it's helped you out, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and the best one of all, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.